So the other day I was having a chat with a client, and they basically sent me a message after I spoke to them about something. So long story short, this client's had a lot of breakthroughs recently, personally, physically, and also professionally, and they've started taking things upon themselves to do a bit of external learning outside of the work. They learn a bit more about property. And essentially they were kind of notifying us on the moves that they'd made, and this is huge for them, by the way, like massive, and I'm so proud of them. Anyway, long story short, I just sent them a really positive message back, and I just said, by the way, like, I gave them some recommendations and some stuff that my parents have done as well, like connect to my parents, like, by the way, there's this thing in Glasgow called Property Podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I just gave them this like really solid advice back. And they sent me this message back that just it was so nice, but like it just made me realise like where the state of affairs are for most people. They said, I really, really appreciate that message, to words of that effect. I can't remember exactly what they said, but it was not what they said, it was how they said it. It was like there was a weight off their shoulders. They were just so glad to be met by such positivity. They were so refreshed by it. They were like, that is amazing feedback, by the way. And the reason why I'm talking about this, because it just astonished me that is refreshing for someone to hear, for someone being positive and believing in them. Because we live in this society now that anything that you do that is breaking away from the norm, that isn't part of the story, that isn't part of the agenda, it's almost like people will immediately second guess you. People will immediately question your integrity. They will question your reasoning behind it. And you might even get comments from people saying like, why are you even doing that? Like, who do you think you are? What do you do? The thing that you need to remember is that everyone just has an idea of who you are based on the life that you've been living and the things that you've been doing. Now, this is so common when it comes to transforming your body, leveling up your fitness. You're essentially taking yourself more seriously. Now, this is exactly what this client's doing. They're taking themselves more seriously. They want to level up their results across the body, across their fitness, and now they're actually taking that mentality into their professional life. They want to actually improve their life financially, which is fucking great. But this is a great example of why it's so hard to do this stuff, because number one, you're jumping into the unknown. If you're doing something you've never done before, if you're stepping into working with a coach, pursuing a new goal that requires like a lot more new tactics and a lot more effort and a lot of work, and there is almost like this like calculated risk. There's a risk that nothing may come of it. Like this conversation with this client, like if this client doesn't follow through with the stuff, implement the stuff that they learn, like yeah, nothing will come from it. It's the same with your results and your fitness, right? If you do nothing about it, there is a slight possibility that nothing may come of it. But that's life. And what a lot of folk don't realise, that they just operate in this safety zone with everything that they do, that they never have actually, like they're avoiding failure so much that as a result of avoiding so much fucking failure, they never actually experience winning, because they're just operating in this like I speak to folks sometimes, and it's like, obviously a common objection for coaching is that like, I've got bills, I've got this, I've got that, right? Coaching isn't a cost, it's an investment, right? It's an investment into leveling up yourself, right? If it was a monthly direct debit for a car, I would get it. You need to weigh it up, but ultimately you're investing into yourself to upskill yourself, to develop yourself. But people just do not get that when you do that, there is a possibility that nothing may come of it, because it's all on you to do the work. And that's why folk are so fucking strange when it comes to you doing anything that isn't direct, that isn't immediate gratification. Like, folk don't bat an eyelid at you buying £1,000 for an Oasis ticket, or they won't bat an eyelid at you paying hundreds of pounds every other weekend, spending it on booze or pissing it up the wall. They will not bat an eyelid, because it's an immediate return. You get the thing, like you pay for it, someone gives you something, you get it right back. But for some reason, when you're investing into yourself for knowledge, for wisdom, for the framework, for the blueprint, for the strategy to get the outcome, people are bewildered by it, because they're so conditioned to just operate within the confines of what they know. So the thing that you need to remember when you're going through when you're trying to chase progress in your life, when you're trying to improve your health, your composition, your fitness, be careful who you share it with. Like, be very, very careful who you share it with, because if you're sharing this self-improvement, because that's what it is, with someone that does not value, does not get, or does not understand self-improvement, you're probably going to be met with an outcome or a response that you don't like or you don't want. So be careful who you are sharing your goals with. Make sure it's people who are doing the things that you want to do. Make sure it's people that get it, that understand it, because it's tough. It is tough because this person that you might want to share it with, it might be your parent, it might be your sibling, it might be your partner, and you go and share this with them, and if they're not aligned with the thing that you are trying to achieve, you need to think about the response that you're going to get. Because think about it, like, if everyone was in the same mindset and everyone was like chasing personal development, there'd be no obesity, there'd be a massive improvement in the NHS health. We wouldn't be in all the predicaments that we're in, right? So you need to look at the masses. The majority of people are underperforming in every part of their life, right? If you have not tried to upskill yourself in some way, shape or form, or went out your own way off your own back, then you're going to be just lying on your back like a wee turtle, like someone's put you on your back. Like, you're going to be in the mindset that like education stops when you finish school, that personal development doesn't even exist. Like, personal development never ever ends, and you just need to remember that if you're trying to step into a higher version of yourself, you're trying to improve your life, your results, your composition, your fitness, you're trying to operate bigger and better, you're immediately, every time you get better, you're going into a smaller and smaller minority, right? And it was just like, it was a bit of an eye-opener. Like, it wasn't an eye-opener because it's stuff that I know, but it was really, really nice to hear it. But it was also just a sad reminder that that is the general consensus of how people think. Like, people don't want to share positive stuff. And I had it with someone recently as well, I know a client that I was connecting with, and they were like, do you know what, it's been so nice to talk to you today, Kristian, because it's just your feedback's been so positive for what I'm doing. And it's because people are so scared to share their goals or share the things that they want to do, their ambitions, with other people, because they know they're going to be met with a negative outcome. And it's sad. It's actually so fucking sad, man. So the thing that you need to, like, if this is the position that you're in right now, like, go and make more connections. Like, you need to work on your relationships in your life. Like, go and put yourself in situations, in places, and you need to work on those relationships. Like, you need to go and put yourself in places, like, go to a local run club, join a gym that's community based, work with a coach that has a community that runs events or it's in person. Like, go and get yourself to spaces and environments with people that have a shared similar interest. It could be something that's professional. Go to a BNI meeting if you run a business. Go to a property networking event if you want to go meet other people that are doing things that you want to do. You need to put yourself in different rooms, in different places, with people that are going to evolve you and develop you and upskill you, because they get it, right? So remember, guys, like, personal development, the higher you climb that ladder of self-improvement, the more in tune that you become with yourself, the more isolated you will feel. That's what happens, man. And this is what I call the lonely chapter. Chris Williams says it really, really well. You're going to go through this phase where, like, you feel quite lonely, you feel quite isolated, because a lot of the things that you've done in your life, you're just growing in a different direction. You're not even you are outgrowing them, because obviously you're leveling up, but you're starting to change direction from the path that you're on. You're not better than anyone. You're not saying anyone's worse off than you. You're just starting to realise that you're moving in a different direction now, and you need to go and find more people that are moving in that direction as well. That's why community is so big inside RFA, because a lot of folk just do not have the right people around them. They do not have the proper resources. They do not have the right people to speak to about it. And it's just nice when you hear someone that's like so positive, when you've been able to give someone really, really good advice, and it's just landed with them so well because of they've got no one else to really speak to that about as well. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Bit of a different one, but I just kind of wanted to share it because it is like, it's a stigma, it's a mentality that's definitely rife in the UK, man. It really, really is, especially west coast of Scotland. But guys, I hope you took a lot away from this. As always, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you are literally sending this to someone that will take a lot of value. Like, I do this stuff like completely off my own back. I do not get anything for this. So please share the message. And if this helps anyone, please obviously share your thoughts below. I would love to hear it. Anyway, guys, see you later. Goodbye.